Hi, Mackintosh Academy. It's me again, Stacey Anderson, and I am here to talk to you about executive skills and keep this video trail going. I want to talk about ways to practice the skills we talked about in the last video, and then two more today. So let's start with response inhibition. And as we talked about, these executive skills start just after birth, the development and practice of them, and they go all the way to the age of about 25 when the frontal lobe ends up being just about fully developed. Response inhibition, a way to teach that to young children, because it's one of the lowest on our trajectory, is teaching children to wait and to stop. You want to build in wait time through the day. You want to alternate between work and play and preferred and non-preferred activities. All of that will help naturally build the skill. Games like Simon Says or Red Light, Green Light, those are other simple ways to have children practice response inhibition. Next, working memory. This one's a little more complex. So your working memory, if you recall, is when you have a concept in your mind and new pieces are being added at the same time. You have to hold everything and work with all the pieces. If your child needs to practice math facts, spelling words, sight words, you can use flashcards. That does work on working memory because you've given some information and then more information is put on top of that. But if working memory is particularly weak for your child, I would not go overboard on that practice. You want to encourage kids who have weak working memory to develop workarounds, and they will need your help with this. Post-it notes, checklists, use their smartphone if they're old enough to have one. Use certain things on your computer, timers, lists. Workarounds are super important for kids who have difficulty with working memory, because our goal is, right, to get things done. So how we get there doesn't always matter as much as getting the task done and turned in. So let's say we're going to talk about emotional control. This is an interesting one. The ability to manage emotions in order to achieve your goals, complete tasks, or control and direct behavior. A young child with this skill is able to recover from a disappointment in a short time. They can kind of take the disappointment and move on. A teenager is able to manage anxiety or something that happens that's not in their favor, and then still be able to perform, whether it's performing in sports or performing on a test. They're displaying emotional control. So it's kind of like the behavior, the emotion matches the situation. That's kind of what you're looking for. And then flexibility is the ability to revise plans in the face of obstacles, setbacks, new information, or mistakes. Does the child demonstrate flexibility? Can they adapt to changing conditions? That can be hard, but it can be practiced. So let's talk about how you practice emotional control and flexibility. Emotional control is take a situation, or you sit down with your child in a calm setting, talk about the trigger, what's causing the emotionality to happen, and then develop concrete replacement behaviors. So the child's being annoyed by a sibling. What is the replacement behavior? Walk away, leave the room, use the words "don't stop" or "please stop" as your replacement behavior. Come up with some concrete ways to replace that emotional piece that wants to blurb forward. Let's talk about flexibility. Kids who are inflexible tend to do better with structure and routine, and they handle close-ended tasks better than open-ended tasks. So if you want to practice flexibility, you want to give your kids opportunities for creativity. There is no right or wrong answer. Kind of let them feel a little bit uncomfortable. And a really good way to do that is to model it for them. You do it. Practice feeling uncomfortable. What are the words you use? What are the behaviors you do? And then let them practice after you. Apples to Apples is a great game to play in that way to practice flexibility. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great night.